Hey guys, ILene Vick here for Teaching Adult Coloring with ILene Vick. It is Sunday, August 22nd at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I am live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So good to see everybody. Joy to be around you guys. I'll be broadcasting live for the next 3 hours. Oh, yay! I can see comments from Wanda. Woo-hoo-hoo! We're good to go. Yay! It only took 4 tries. So welcome to my Facebook peeps who come in and are able to chat with us, and welcome to our lurkers who come in. Hello, Mary. So good to see everybody. And welcome to our lurkers who watch and learn and hopefully enjoy. Hi, Sandy. Yep. Comments are working. Okay, and welcome to my YouTube viewers. Excuse me. So we are good to go. All right, don't forget tonight the contest with Dawn ends at 12 midnight Central Standard Time. Please get your entry in. Dawn Boyer is giving away books, and that's always fun when she does that. So that's 12 p.m. Central Standard. No, 12 a.m. Excuse me, midnight. We'll get her. Okay. So I've been working on several projects. Oh, Mary is updating us late. Leona came home from the hospital yesterday. Yay! She is on home oxygen for now, and she thanks everyone for the prayers. Our pleasure, Mary. Our pleasure. That is definitely good news. Okay, so let's get coloring. Oh, and I wanted to show you this piece that I'm working on. I posted it. And this is from Fine Art Grayscale 2, Black River Art. So I've been working on this for you. I'm just piddling around with it, having a lot of fun. I'll play with the sky. Okay. So we've got Frankie. And I just wanted to show you a couple more things with my pumpkins. Yeah, Sandy, I did that in detail the last broadcast. I used the slice knife. I'll be working on it in a little bit. Did you see last night's broadcast, Miss Sandy? I thought you were there. Okay, so I'm going to play, not play around, but I've got a, oh, you were out. Okay, yeah, it's in the broadcast. I went into detail. I'll be talking about it tonight as well. This is Autumnal. It's a Brett Funner color. And I'm going to go ahead and work up these last couple leaves. So let's go ahead and get some nice shades here. I'm going to go with some nice browns. Zoom in. And again, notice how I'm working on the ragged edge here. And isn't this black background absolutely gorgeous? I added that. Okay. Zoom in. Okay, see how beautifully this is coming out. Dancing for you, Wanda. Okay. Let me move camera a little bit, just a little bit. All right, there you go. Zoom out. And look how beautiful this brown is coming out, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a darker red. This will be my lipstick red. Rhonda says that she'll be in. Rhonda Green says she'll be in a little while. She's got Bible study. Da, 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 da. And notice how I'm back blending now into the brown. Now, don't be afraid to add your completely black background, guys, and I just really thought that this was appropriate for this particular one, especially since I went ahead and made these pumpkins so dimensional. Now, notice when I bring in the red, how that affects the brown. Brown and red go together beautifully. And then we'll go ahead and turn this. Zoom in. And I want you to notice how I'm adding a little bit of curvature to the coloring, and it makes a difference. I've talked a lot about that when you're coloring, is you want to go ahead and match how your piece is on there. Okay. Now you're seeing a little bit of color difference in the black. That's because I highlighted my edges with my black pen. Not highlighted, excuse me. I did my detail work with my black pen, which means my edges, and then I went ahead and colored the rest of it with a Sharpie marker. So you may see that on the screen, but it's not evident when you look at it in normal view. And look how beautifully this is coming out, guys. We've got some really nice colors on this particular piece. And I want you to see too that also by back blending this red, not only does it tint your brown, but it also gets rid of all your popcorn. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out. There you go. Now, and I'm sorry I didn't tell you, this is a lipstick red by Brett Funner. And this is the Autumnal. Autumnal. A-U-T-U-M, Autumnal, N-A-L. Oh, gotta love those names. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back over my red with my brown. And that's going to give us a beautiful, beautiful color here. Da-da. Hello, Terry. Hello, Jean. So Jean is resting up. She mentioned to me earlier that she will be going into surgery to have the wound drained, the staph infection drained. And so she's resting up. And I invited her to come in and just watch. And Jean, you don't need to talk if you don't want to, but we are delighted to see you. Okay. So now I'm going to work on this next leaf. Terry, I'm so glad to see you. You were in the direct path of that hurricane. I saw in the news that they downgraded it. And when I chatted with you earlier, you said that your power has been on and off. But most of you guys missed the brunt of the storm. But lots of trees down. Okay. Zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, now I want you to notice that I'm going with the darker colors on these, on the leaves. And obviously you can see I colored in this in black, which really, oh my gosh, just pulled everything forward. And we do not have much to go on this, more to go on this at all. All right, zoom in. A little bit of green on the flower stem, and I happen to be using a parakeet color by Brett Funner, and I'm going to combine my brown in that. So we're using, you know, a lot of subdued colors here. And I'm also going to use a permanent green by Castle Arts. Go ahead and pop a little green on these flower centers here. Got a little bit of white right here I want to pick up with my pink. Now remember, I'm going over all my black lines because I want to calm those down as well. All right, let's get our stem on our pumpkin, limeade. Oh, nope, not limeade. Nope, 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 nope. I'm going to go back and use my permanent green. Not a good idea to use the limeade. Now guys, if you don't want to use green at all in your stems, of course don't. And the reason that I tell you that is just because I do doesn't mean that you have to, or okay? So we'll go ahead and get a nice brown in here. This is my autumnal green. Brett Phoner, YK number 3. And this is the one I had to go ahead and draw the stem in. I'm sorry, not the stem, the stem lines. Okay, and now I'm going to come back with just a little bit of white, and we're going to go ahead and just highlight that just a little bit. Actually, I decided to go over the entire thing with it just to lighten up the whole thing. Little change there. And then I will highlight right here. Okay. Two more flowers and a little bit of extra stuff. So I've got my pink and my purple. On my flower center here, this is the Peony Pink Arteza 026 with a little bit of purple in that center. And that purple is my light purple premium by Cool Banks. So we'll go ahead and get that back in there too. I just missed that spot earlier. Okay. So black on the top here of our little center portion. And don't forget, if you go back to add green, zoom in, misspoke. If you go back in to add pen on top of your coloring, you're going to have to keep cleaning off your tip, because your pen is picking up the colored pencil wax. And then I'm going to go through and add my green stems. There we go on that. Okay, my two flowers at the top, same green. Castle Arts Permanent Green, color number 110. Not sure what this little guy is supposed to be. Well, I'm going to go ahead and make that pink. And guys, don't beat up on yourself if you can't figure out what something is. Now I'm going in also with my pink, and I'm just going to go ahead and bump up that tip just a little bit. green on my stem over here. Pink on my closed flower here. With a little bit of edging in the red. That's my lipstick red again. Same thing that I did up here. Now, if you're a little popcorny, you can go back and hit that with your pencil. Oh, pretty. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Isn't that beautiful? Switch my light a little bit here for you. And if anybody has any questions, of course, don't hesitate. All right, zoom in. Let me come in with my green here and get these stems done. Here we go. We'll get that done. And same over here. Zoom in. Now, with this pink on here, don't forget too that you can go ahead and shade up some of your areas here if you like. But I don't want you to use just one pencil with shading and then call that done. We've talked a lot about that. All right, everybody see how beautifully now that's coming out? Again, base color, a little bit of shading with that base color, but that does not mean I'm not going to come in with my other colors here to give us that depth and dimension. I don't want to see any flat coloring, guys. And I also encourage you to do your petals one at a time. In other words, if you have a coloring element that you're doing on all your petals, you still want to do these little puppies other than your base color. Okay, Sandy's back. Wanda had to step out a minute. Okay. Now, I don't want to add any more pink to that, so I'm going to use my blender pencil. And smooth this out. So some of you have asked me, when do I use my blender pencil? When do I use white? Well, if you don't want to change the color aspects from the standpoint of layering another color, because remember, white is another color, that's when you want to use your blender pens. So at the moment, I don't want to color this whole thing in white, but I want my colors smooth. Now, I've noticed on your postings that you guys aren't getting your colors blended and smooth, so please work on that. Pretty. Zoom out. Now, these particular flowers, I went ahead and I put the purple center on them. So I'll go back with my purple. And that is my Cool Bank light purple color 139. And I'm going to add a little bit of my center color. Now, I want you to notice that this flower here is more closed up than this one here. This one is splayed open, right? This one is closed up more. So your purple is not going to be as strong. And with this flower not open as far as the other one, that also tells you that it's probably a younger flower. And doesn't quite have all of its colors ready. Does that make sense? So I'm not going to be as dark with my purple on these as I was on my first flower. And I need you to think about stuff like that. There we go. All right. Now, as you also notice, I've got some white areas, lighter areas. Zoom in. And this is where I'm going to accentuate that with my white a little bit. Not a lot, but just enough here that we come up with some really cool streaking on it. Zoom out. Oh, pretty. Zoom out. Let me grab some water here. And let's go ahead and do this last flower real quick. And if you have any questions on how I did these, check yesterday's, either yesterday's or the day before. Zoom in. Zoom in. Okay, now we have a younger looking, a younger flower here. So no purple on this little guy. I will, however, take my blender pencil and smooth this out. Everybody clear on when I say I'm blending out the popcorn. It's that white stuff that shows up. And that's because your pencil isn't going into the cracks and crevices of the crevices of the paper. But again, don't jam your blender pencil in. Blender pencils are not meant to be jammed in. Okay. Now, I'm going to take a little bit of my red zoom in. Hey, Rhonda. And even though it's the red here that I'm seeing, this is my lipstick red. I'm going to go ahead and on this top portion here that is bending this way towards you, we're going to go ahead and add a little bit of that shading. Now, I'm going to pop a little bit of this red as well into the leaves. I'm sorry, petals. Now, notice it's not coming up red, it's coming up a darker pink, right? And I'm going to go right in between the center part of my flower. Because remember, this is a younger version of the other flowers. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my white pencil and we'll lighten these sections up just a little bit. Not much. Do not go crazy with your white blender pencil. Notice I'm just hardly touching my areas here. Zoom out. Wanda, you know, you're good at explaining that. How would you explain the difference between blending and burnishing? I honestly, I interchange the terms. Sometimes what I'll say is that you're Wanda, you want to pop in on that one? Okay, notice now I'm just picking up this pink a little bit. Okay, Amy, thanks for letting us know. Zoom out. Oh, okay. I'll explain it. Yeah, what Wanda is saying, you know, when you burnish, you are basically finishing off the coloring, that's right, and removing any tooth. So the process of burnishing is that you are blending your colors. You use blending to burnish. Does that make sense? Zoom out. Zoom out. Is everybody clear on that? There's another explanation. Burnish is just a firmer form of blending. Okay. I've always said that you use blending to burnish. So bottom line, don't fuss over it. And that's right, Terry. Once you close that tooth of the paper, it is hard to retouch. And actually, that's why sometimes people use that Krylon fixative spray and let it dry. That adds tooth to the paper. You don't see me using my blender pencil a lot. I mean, obviously, sometimes I do. And that's why if you get skilled with your pencils, or when you get skilled with your pencils, and work with your layers, that's when you're going to have your best coloring. And whenever I blend, that's why I also tell you to do it very, very lightly. All right. Now I'm going to do a couple of touches on this, and then we're out of here on this one. Okay. Zoom in. So we have a couple of areas here where we've got to do our shading. And notice that I'm using a red, which is very compatible with the pink. And everybody see how I'm adding that shading. So we've got our nice little shadow here. Wanda says, are you going to add a range to the other pink flowers like you did on the other one on the bottom? It looks really good that way. Yes, I'm going to go back and touch that up. You're talking about my shadings of color, I assume. Zoom out. Oh, the orange. Yes, ma'am. It's okay. So, I'm adding my shadow. Zoom in. Zoom in. And I want you to see right here where this leaf petal is overlapping. The flower here. So I'm darkening that a little bit. I'm darkening the pink underneath the petal. And see, this is where people get confused about adding gray. Because they think a shadow should be done in gray. Zoom in. So I'm adding just a little bit, repeated strokes. I'm not shoving the pencil into the paper. And I'm also going to go ahead and add a little bit of darker pink to this part. Wanda has invented a new way to spell orange. And we're going to go ahead and add a little bit up here. Not much. Oh, beautiful. Zoom out. Zoom out. Zoom out. Can you guys see the dimension in that upper cluster of flowers? And again, I just darkened with my, what? I made a darker pink because the shadow is on the pink, and this red is working beautifully for this. This is my lipstick red. Isn't that beautiful? So can you guys see the dimension on this? Yes, no? Okay. Zoom in. And I'm also adding it. See this leaf that's overlapping, flopped over? I'm adding a little bit of darker shade to underneath the leaf. Darn it. Petal. You guys are just going to have to put up with me saying leaf. I do this on all my flower colorings. I say leaf. Okay. Zoom out. And then I'm going to go ahead with my Radiant Yellow, which is actually the orange. Let me double check something here. I take that back. I'm going to use my Dark Samion, S-A-I-M-O-N, which is my Zenicolor 063. Is ILene tongue-tied tonight? Yes, she is. All right. And do not use your finger to wipe away any excess like I just did. Use your brush. Sandy says she's practicing a pumpkin in the Helen Elliston book. Excellent. Which book, Sandy? So I went ahead and I added a little bit of orange to my flower here in the lower right hand corner, and that's what Wanda was asking about as to whether I was going to do it on my other ones. How pretty is that? Book 2. Oh, you bought. Oh, you're talking about her color as special effects. Excellent. Oh, look how pretty that orange is tinting here. And guys, you don't need much, right? We've talked about this before. Guys, when you are adding a color that doesn't necessarily, let me put it to you this way. I've talked a lot about adding subtle colors. So right now I'm just adding this orange, which you might not necessarily know it's there when I'm done. Now, as I'm adding this orange, this is a really important point. Zoom in. As I'm adding this orange, I'm not looking at or concentrating on the orange that I'm adding. I'm concentrating on how the overall petal is looking. Big difference. Don't focus on the color that you're adding. I want you to focus. Oh yeah, see how much better that looks? I want you to focus on your overall coloring segment. Does that make sense? Some people get so focused on the color that they're adding, they're not really looking at what it's doing to the object. Does that make sense, guys? Sandy says yes. Oh, how pretty this is. Zoom out. Zoom out. So, except for a little bit of tweaking here and there, I'm calling this done. Now, I want the stem to look a little muddy. And I want this stem to look a little more defined. So what I want you to see now, look how that shading is popping these leaves, darn it, petals, and making them look dimensional. That's what I want you to see. Now, there are different ways that you can do this piece. Make it your style. Learn the technique, make it your style. Anybody have any questions or comments? Zoom out. Oh, one more thing that I wanted to show you. Too bad Helen isn't here tonight. She made a suggestion last night that I wasn't ready to incorporate at the time. Okay, Sandy says I googled this. Burnishing is to rub the surface to bring out the shine of the pencil. Ugh. Blending is to mix the colors. Blending is to mix the colors. Hold on, I gotta click on this. Blending is to mix the colors. And burnishing both can happen at the same time, as burnishing can lead to blending and the other way around. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much finished with the small pumpkin eyes. What do you suggest, Wanda? I didn't do a lot with that because I was showing a difference. It's a little dull. I could put dots in them. Yeah, honestly, I would never burnish a piece to make the pencil shine. I don't do it, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. Yeah, I made these eyes very simple because I was showing 2 ways of doing it, and this is just yellow and white. Okay, let me do this last step real quick. I'm going to take a lipstick red, and what Helen was commenting on last night was to go ahead and add that to the edges of the pumpkin. So let's go ahead and do that. You could also actually do it with a brownish red if you wanted to. Just be sure that you blend it in, right? So everybody see that little kick of red now that we have at the bottom? Now again, we have to be careful, and one of the reasons I actually didn't jump on the suggestion was because my pencils are starting to get wax on it, that wax shine. Yeah, I gotta stop right there. That's too much. See how that's getting rough right there? Zoom in. Zoom in. See that roughness right there? The paper is fighting taking the pencil. So I'm very, very lightly just going to pull that last color off. I'm not pressing on that at all. I'm just letting the weight of the X-Acto knife pull off that last layer. So if you start to notice little pockets of wax like that, you are done, unless you spray with your Krylon Fix Stiff. Zoom out. Zoom out. So my little tweaks will include things like just smoothing out the inside of the eyes where it was brown with the yellow or the white. Just any little thing that I see. Zoom out. Alright guys, these are the different ways to do your pumpkins. And I will quit tweaking because I would be another 20 minutes on this. All right, we're good. Zoom out. Da-da. Oh. Exactly, Wanda. Wanda says, I was told that the shine was a side effect of burnishing. Got the impression you really don't want it. I don't want it. I absolutely don't want it. I do not burnish for shine. So I don't use that at all. I don't use that technique. All right, let's play around with Frankie a little bit. And then we've got a horse with our name on it. So I'm going to use my Automol brown. Very light on the shoe here. Zoom in. Yeah, I 1000% agree with that, with your statement, Wanda. Anytime that you start getting that wax, it's called wax bloom that I was showing you, and your pen, it starts getting shiny. Okay, so I've got my light brown of my boot here. Anybody else have any questions about that? Zoom in. Don't forget to cover over your black line with your color that you're using here. Let's see here. And by the way, I want to thank you guys for sending me the messages that you have that you like working, like seeing me do this particular project. And you said not really your taste, but you're learning a lot from it. Okay. So I want you to think in terms of grayscale now. We're going to put our light color down, which I've done. This will help you with shading, guys. And that is my Autumnal color, Autumnal from Brett Finer. Zoom out. And now for my dark color. So I'm doing light, dark, and then medium. That's what Wanda says that she does on her grayscale. And now we're going to go ahead and start to shadow in where we think that the darkest part of the shoe is going to be. Zoom in. So if I've got this light part here where I put the light shine, L-I-G-H-T, that tells you this is going to be light as well. So we're going to have a darker portion on the back of our shoe, right? Now we've got a light section up here again. Again, this is my darkest color of my light, medium, and dark. Now I'm going to pull my medium brown, which is darker than this lighter brown, but lighter than that darkest brown. And the reason I say that is because my overall colors on here are dark shades of brown. All three of these are relatively dark, right? So now I'm going to pull my Brett Finer. Now these Brett Finer, which I bought earlier, don't have their names on them. This isn't from the 520 set. So that's color 050. Okay. And what I want you to see now is on my medium color, it's going to be right next to my dark, right? Watch this closely. So wherever my dark is now, I'm adding my medium around it. Look how pretty that is. 3 shades, guys. Questions, comments? So this is as though we're doing this with grayscale, and that's what I want you to see. Now, I'm basically done with the colors of this shoe. So this is where now we're coming in with our blender pencil on that first light color, and we're getting that popcorn effect out of it. See how beautifully that blends in? And I'm only blending my light portion. Zoom out. Zoom out. Questions? Look how cool that looks. Okay, so here's my lightest brown here. Zoom in. Zoom in. Let's see here. So I didn't add any yellow on the tip of that boot, and guess what? I'm thinking that I should have for consistency. So I'm going to go ahead and zip away a little bit of that brown. My bad. And I'm going to go ahead and just put a teeny tiny bit of shine on there. Not much. Oops. All right, so light color is there. Let's go ahead and work where we think our darks are going to be. Zoom in. So we'll have a little bit of dark behind this flap. That makes sense, right? And around our buckle. Or strap, actually. And along the bottom of our shoe. Again, guys, think grayscale. Light, medium, dark, right? And notice I'm not just drawing a straight line here. I'm blending that in. Zoom out. Set timer for 25 minutes.
Okay, 25 minutes and counting.
And I'm even going to bring up that medium. See how I'm bringing that up? Because I want a little bit of a scuffed look. I'm sorry, this is my dark. I meant dark. Isn't that cool looking? And I promise you, when you color, you'll get there and think about doing things like that. So what's my next pencil that I'm going to pull, guys? Somebody tell me, please. As I grab some water. Oh, yeah. Love that, this humidity. That's right, I'm going to pull my medium. And my medium is going to go right next to my dark. And you see how my little white, I call them white, but they're light. My light little islands are forming. So right next to that little smudge of dark, zoom in. Zoom in. Right next to that little smudge of dark that I put in, I'm putting in a little bit of my medium. Just right around it, I'm encircling it. And then I'm going back with my lightest brown. We can do one of two things here. You can go back with your lightest brown. And work that over. But if it gets to be too light, you can work it with your white pencil if you want. And if that doesn't thrill you, use your blender pencil. Up to you. Rhonda, you still with us tonight? She said, dang it, ILene, I'm trying to color. Quit asking me questions. Zoom out. Zoom out. We're looking pretty cool. And then I'm just coming back with my medium pencil here. I'm sorry, my medium pencil here. And just playing with that. I am not seeing any comments. If somebody would just type something, let me see it. Wanda says everyone must be coloring. Okay, thank you, Wanda. Good. I'm glad to hear it. Terry Jones says something. Thank you, Terry. Okay, I'm going to remind you also, look at that teeny tiny piece of eraser that I have left. Do you see how skinny that is? Ooh. Remember that little trick that I showed you about gripping your eraser? Oh, I love it. Thank you, guys. Go back to your coloring. Okay. And see, this is my full length, so you can see how much eraser use I'm getting out of this. Yeah, I don't mind at all that you're coloring while I'm showing all this. I just need to, I'm only making sure that the broadcast, that I can still see comments. Okay. So no, I'm not offended at all. As long as you're learning, we're good. Okay. So let's go ahead and color up these edges here. Crunch, crunch, crunch. I'm going to go ahead and get a different shade of brown here. Yeah, we're good on that one. So this is a greenish brown. It's called Thai, Thai Curry, C-U-R-R-Y. Happens to be a bread funner. It's a color number 4. See, you can always tell which are my newer pencils because they're the longer. Zoom in. Okay, zoom in. Zoom in. So it's kind of a, I don't want to say yucky, but in context of the picture, it's going to be, hold on, let me see if I got, yeah, something stuck to the back. You ever notice when you're coloring a coloring page and you get like a little bumpy in there? And it could be, it's something stuck to the back of your book, your page. So there's my base color. And I'm going to use my deep mahogany. Let me double check that I didn't pick up the wrong pencil. We're good. Deep mahogany. By the way, guys, how's the music tonight? Do you like it? And notice that even though I'm lining the edge, I'm going to bring that shading down a little bit in the center. I got to quit moving. Think of a scuffed heel. Wanda, you still with us? I meant to do this earlier. Okay, see how I'm scuffing that up? Zoom out. And then I'm going to take, of all things, a little bit of gold, which is my bright orange yellow by Fila. And I'm going to use that on top of the browns that I'm using. Now, you'd think that you would get an obnoxious color, but remember, we've got these greens and browns underneath. And the neat thing is that that gold is implying that there's a little bit of a shine there, but I'm not using the actual shine colors. Did that on purpose. Okay. So let's go ahead and do that again. So there's my lightest color. And then I'm going to go with my dark. So I'm going to scuff this up a little bit and bring that dark right down into the shoe itself. And again, guys, trust me, if you follow what I'm showing you, this is eventually going to become natural to you. Okay, now, tip of the shoe, right, the very top here, I'm actually going to hit that a little bit with my eraser. And then I'll fix whatever I accidentally took out. But what I wanted to show you here is the very front of it having that light spot in it. Isn't that cool? Zoom out. Rhonda says she's starting a new project, Forest Girl. So Rhonda, are you done over your phobia about black backgrounds? Zoom out. Okay. It didn't look streaky in your picture. And look at all the compliments you got on it, right? Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. So I'm going to take a little bit of a shortcut and use my metallic silver. On the buckle. I forgot part of the shoe. I did. Well, bummer. So here's my metallic silver. And here's the flap of the shoe that I forgot. Rhonda, I want you to look at all those compliments that you got. You gotta quit being so squeamish about that. So there's my dark, and then I'm going to use my medium. Sweat the details, guys. I love how these pants turned out. Okay, let's get that strap done, the bottom of the shoe, and then I'll go ahead and we'll work on the next project. I've got a horse, a unicorn horse to show you. Okay, I'm going to use a dim gray CP Cool Bank 006. Very, very light gray. Rhonda, I really wish that you would get away from your own opinion and see what others think about it. Now, on this strap, I'm just going to go ahead and darken my same gray. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit this with my white pencil to blend it. There we go. I mean, Wanda, you got a bunch of comments on that piece. Okay, so my darker gray and my lighter in the center. Zoom out. All right, so we've got a spider that's about to get smushed. And I added spikes to the shoes. And I'm going to go ahead and add, I just want to add one more little sweat drop. There we go. Zoom out. And remember that I added the little motion lines by the legs. Now, I really don't want to go super black on the bottom of the shoes. So I'm going to work mostly in grays. And I'm going to work on, this is vintage khaki, Brett Funner. Zoom in. So there's my lightest gray. And now I'm going to come back with my deep mahogany. Now, don't go crazy on the bottom of the shoe with your deep mahogany. Oh, nope, I don't like that color. Backtrack. My bad. I'm going to use a dim gray. This is by Zenicolor. Now, we've got spikes on here, so we've got to go ahead and shade around that. So this is my darkest of my three colors here on the shoe. And we're going to do a little more darker color under the heel. And then I'm going to use a medium, let's see what we got here. My medium color. Now I'm going to pull in my Thai Curry, which is my greenish shade, and come in very lightly. And I'm going to do that right next to my dark spots. Remember, your medium color goes next to your dark. And then I'm going to go back with my lightest color here in between. And I'm going to go over the entire shoe, which is going to mute that Thai green. And the reason that I'm doing this is because I want that grayish greenish color on the bottom of our shoe. But I am really coloring out that Thai green. I want it yucky looking, which is what I got. And then I'm using my medium color around my inside of my dark on the heel itself. Okay. Questions or comments on that? You got to remember, this is a Frankenstein, so we want ghoulish colors. All right. So I've got a teeny tiny bit of the shoe here. I'll go with my darker gray on the outside and leave just a little bit of light in there. So in other words, I'm not doing it all black or all dark. Please do not do that. Zoom out. And guys, I want you to think about that because we're doing ghoulish colors. If you want a good piece of coloring, you've got to think about what's going on with the piece. Zoom out. Now, I haven't finished the collar yet. I will work on that another day. Actually, hold on. I'm going to use my vintage khaki. Zoom in. And then I'm going to use my dim gray and just give that just a little bit of texture. So it almost looks like it's cloth. The front of the heel on his bottom shoe. I left that as a lighter spot, just to give it a little shine. And I put a little bit of black in that little divot here. I outlined it. What did I miss? Heel. Okay. All right, any questions or comments? Zoom out. Zoom out. Because I need to change over now. Now, I lost the outline of the buckle a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and take my black pen and fix that. Or the strap is what I meant. It's done now with just a small white spot, yeah. I had done it, it looked white. Okay. Zoom out. Terry says, leave it to my dog to find the one skunk out during a hurricane. Gotta go bathe the dog. Bye, gals. Oh, Terry, I'm sorry. Oh, man. I'm sorry, that's just funny. Oh my, let me get some water here. I am very happy with this little guy here. Okay, let's move on. So, done with that one. Working on this one, and now we've got us a unicorn. Zoom out. Okay, so I used my Slice brand knife yesterday. I didn't do forgot to do the ears. I'm not going to do them right now. I want to work on the unicorn. So I'm seeing colors. I'm seeing colors of pink, blue, and yellow. There we go. Oh, are we going to have fun with this page? Oh, wait, there's more. Okie dokie. So, as I was thinking about this the other night, I thought, you know, it would look really cool if we have these light colors in here. So I'm going to go ahead and use my pink, Arteza Peony Pink, 0.26. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Notice how I'm not using the full pink all the way around. I've got gaps. All right. And let's get up at the very top here. Now, the author didn't put any dots or anything on that last little chunk of the horn. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. See how I added that? I just want that to be consistent. And if you want to go ahead and add a few more swirls, which I do for fun, and notice how I'm emulating what the author put in. Simple, 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 guys. Zoom out. Now, to me, that unicorn, the horn is magical. So that's why I'm going ahead and adding these extra lines, because I think it makes it look more magical. And if you want to go ahead and add any extra little stars around here, let me show you how to do that real quick. Simple. Zoom in. Zoom in. I want you to see how these little puppies are done. Zoom in. All we have to do is draw two little lines that way, two little lines that way, a couple little lines that way, and two lines that way. Boom. There you go. That's the one I drew in. You'd never know it. Now, zoom out. Zoom out. I want to go ahead and add a little star on this ear. See how I'm doing it? Oh my gosh, guys, ridiculously simple. And then we can go ahead and add one here. Zoom out. Everybody see that? Not hard. Questions or comments about that? And let me show you how to do, let's see, one more here. Zoom in. This is kind of cool too. I'll put it down here. So there's the beginning. And there's my other portion. And then I'm just going to go ahead and add little doohickeys inside. And if you need to make them a little bit darker, do so. Zoom out. Zoom out. So I would challenge you, if you didn't see me draw that, if you were looking at this for the first time, to tell me where I had added my extras. Okay. And one more thing too. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Let's play with this border a little bit. I don't know what happened to the bottom fairy. I think she got, I don't know. I was looking at that too. I think she flew into a star, actually. I mean, look at that. Yeah, it looks like she got smacked with it. Exactly. I'm going to go ahead and highlight those lines a little bit, just to emphasize them. I think she got smacked too. I think that's why she's kind of sprawled out with her two hands forward like she was falling. cute. So I'm going to play it up a little bit. Zoom out. Zoom out. Okay, so the two things I want to show you guys is I've got some stars on the outside of the border. To make that look really cool. Zoom out. Zoom out. Isn't that funny? Yeah. I think the author was having a little fun with that. All right, let's get going on that unicorn horn again. So I'm working with my three colors. And I'm starting in with my pink, and then I went ahead and I drew some more lines in here. Zoom in. Zoom in. Yeah, I had already seen that, Wanda, and I decided I was going to play it up. Okay, so now I'm going to start blending. My orange, my pink, and actually I have changed my mind. I'm not going to go with yellow, and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and put blue in there. Now, if you can avoid it, I want you to not color over your stars. It will make a difference. Actually, I am going to put in a little yellow. Change my mind again. Okay, now we want those colors to be soft and blended. So blend your pencil very lightly over my colors. I'm just kissing the paper, guys. You don't have to press hard. And I'm also, which gives it a little more interest, is I'm going to take white and I'm just going to run over this blue. We're going to soften that blue up a little bit. There we go. Now, I wanted to put that orange in just to give the pink a little shot, but I have decided that I don't like that orange in there. So I'm going to go ahead and if you do that, guys, you know, no biggie, fix it. Very rarely do you see me put in a color and then change it out like this. And the reason that I'm doing it now is because that will fit in with what I'm doing overall better. I do not like that orange in there. So we'll get that out of there. No harm, no foul. There we go. Much better. Zoom out. So my colors are pink, yellow, and blue. And notice that I'm running that yellow right over the pink. Now, my yellow is the master color. It just says yellow on it, so I can't tell you the number. My pink is the Arteza Peony Pink A26. And my blue is my Castle Arts 096. All right. Oh, how pretty is that? Oh my gosh. Wait till you see the full effect on this horn. Blender pencil using the side of my pencil. I'm not using the point. And watch out for your yellow and blue because you'll get green. Any questions or comments so far? So there's my pink. There's my yellow. Over my pink, and here is my blue. Blue, blue, blue. All right. And the reason that I'm using my blue last is because you have less of a chance of it turning to yellow, excuse me, green, when you hit your yellow. How pretty. And then again, go ahead and blend if you want. I'm using the side of my pencil. I want that mushy, soft, magical look. And again, don't forget that I've got something else planned for this horn, guys. I do. Zoom in. So let's go ahead and go with a little more pink. Now, you notice that I spotted the pink on there before. And this is my opportunity now to come back in and put in as much more as I want. Yeah, yellow. Over the pink, and then my blue. Oh my gosh, that piano music's pretty. And then a little bit of the side blending. Not much. You don't want mush. And avoid your star. Zoom out. Zoom out. Everybody see where I'm going with this? This is my stuff. And you can always come back, as you should, and amp up whatever colors you want to emphasize. How pretty. Zoom in. Zoom in. Zoom in. Now, I want you to think about something that you might not have thought about. As we get closer to the top of the unicorn horn, our colors need to be a little more lighter, because why? It's newer growth, right? So I don't know if you noticed, but I'm putting in less and less blue as I'm doing my colors. And that's because, again, we've got this newer growth, right? And I want you to think about things like that. That's, guys, what makes your coloring so neat. It's thoughtful coloring. Now, we still have to put a little bit of blue in there, just a tad, and notice I'm not putting it on the yellow, right? But just a little bit, teeny, teeny, tiny. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. And then on my last couple, and then on my last couple, tiny, tiny amount of blue. Not much. Zoom out. Zoom out. Cute, cute, cute. All right, now, let me get some water. I want to amp up my yellow a little bit. On all my horns. So I'm going to go back and do that. Oh yeah. Zoom out. We got us a unicorn. All right, I'm going to show you something now that I'm going to do on the border. Just as a heads up as I'm coloring this. So I want a very dimensional border. So on the very outside, I want it all, and I want it now. There are some areas that I need to close off because I want to go ahead and add some black on this. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. So if you run into that situation, that's just a matter of adding a little simple line. And then just starting to mark in where you want your dark border. So I'm not going to sit here and color the whole thing black in front of you. I just want to show you what you need to do. In order to finish this off. Any questions about that? So I need to close this off. And I'm just going to show you a couple more here. We're going to bring this line down here. And then color this in. Oh, by the way, and I just remembered this. Rhonda said that she used our planter with our pumpkins and flowers that we did the other day. She used a stencil. For her pattern on that table. How neat was that? Okay, so I'm just going to come down to the corner so you can get an idea how this puppy's going to look. And let me turn this for you. So I'm going to round this corner and draw that in. And then color this in with the black. Any questions, comments, thoughts? Zoom out. Zoom out. That's going to look absolutely beautiful, guys. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and we'll look at that horse hair. Now, we have several ways to go on this. We can go lighter if we want. We can go darker. But I am going to use my slice pen because I do want a little bit of a pattern on there. Zoom in. Zoom in. It's so funny. I have a cutting mat. I can be using that instead of my sheet of paper. So, slice knife. I'm going to go in with some robust cuts. And in this case, we want the parallel lines. And we want long streaks to emulate that hair pattern. Ha! I said hair and I wasn't wrong this time. Okay, so I'll just do the one side because it's getting to be near 10. Zoom out. Zoom out. Oh, let's see here. Now, how much of that marker that's going to show is going to be dependent, or how much of the hair that's going to show will be dependent on your marker. Zoom in. And as you know, I did some healthy cuts in here. And you'll see why in a moment. Remember, when you're coloring with your marker and you get to your cuts, you want to go ahead and dab at it a little bit, even cross color on it. This is going to look really cool, guys. You'll see it. Zoom in. See that darker line right there? That's my cut with my slice pen. All right. And I want you to see that I'm using my pens in a swooshing motion. I'm not, you know, scrubbing back and forth with my marker. Zoom out. And I also want you to see that if I have an area where I want to make it a little darker, like right here, repeated strokes. Isn't that pretty? Zoom out. Zoom out. I really, really want you to catch the nuances of these guys. And again, I'm not scrubbing with my marker. I'm just like I'm painting. I don't want you to be afraid of your markers, Rhonda. They are wonderful, wonderful additions to your coloring tools. Zoom out. Zoom out. Oh my gosh, guys, look at that. Is that not beautiful? The connector pens do not have colors on them, I don't think. Nope. pretty. And again, on the curves now of the hair, see where it's parting right here, and I'm going ahead and darkening where that V is. Oops, hold on, I gotta do something, guys, hold on. Give me a second, guys, sorry. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Zoom in. How pretty is that? Okay, so let me go out here. Now I'm coloring crossways to pick up those marks that I put up in the hair. Zoom in. Because normally, you know how I tell you don't do that? Okay, all these lines right here are being picked up from the knife cutting. So this is the exception to the rule. And I'm almost done, guys. Zoom in. Got a little sloppy there. Let's see here. Now, in that corner, I need to make a decision about where that hair is going. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it all the way down. So in my blank spots, I'll just go ahead and color that brown. I think that'll look really cool, actually. And I'm even going to go a little darker brown, which means I'm doing repetitive strokes with my marker, because that's what the hair is doing. It's going darker. All right, zoom out. Any areas now that you've missed with your marker, just cover that up. Now again, you can shade. I want you to watch this. See this clump of hair right here? This is laying on top of my other hair. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shade underneath that. See it? Boom. Same in here. I've got a little bit of darker hair right in the center. I'll tell you what, guys, if you have markers and you're not using them, you are really shortchanging yourself. A little bit of shading right there. And again, the shading just means I color over with repetitive strokes. That's it. Right over the eye, I'm going to darken that a little bit. Zoom out. There you go. One more area at the top. Anybody have any questions or comments? Markers are meant to be used. You can use them just like colored pencils, Wanda. Rhonda, thanks for asking. No, that flooding, oh my gosh, guys, it was awful. We've had, not here, but in Tennessee, I think there's like 18 people now that have been killed in Tennessee with flash flooding. That was in West Tennessee. Good night, Wanda. I'm about to sign off as well. I'm very blessed. I live in an area that's really, in effect, up on mountains, hills. And my street, it's really weird. When I go out to the main highway, which is about half a mile, if that, from my home, I'm going down an incline. So my particular house is not subject to that kind of flooding to date. All right, anybody have any questions? Thank you, Rhonda, I appreciate that. Anybody have any questions or comments about the horsehair? I'm loving how that's turning out. All right, guys, calling it an evening. Thank you for being here. I would, again, encourage you, please send Jean little hearts or notes or whatever that you're thinking of her. You don't have to be friends with her, but, you know, she's one of our main buds. And it takes 2 seconds. Zoom out. Questions, comments about the technique? All right, guys. Love ya. Guys, joyous coloring. Joyous coloring. Enjoy what you do. Be happy with it. Oh, Rhonda, you heard from her today. Good. Good, good, good. You heard from Jean. Yep, I know you sent her a little note. Okay, guys, be kind to each other. You already are. I love you guys for it. I love this group. Have a good rest of the evening. Take care. And I will see you tomorrow night. Bye.